topic of today that I'll be speaking on is a topic that back in my day, back when I was doing a lot of phone calls, it was something that I had to learn how to enjoy. And it's the topic of phoning. So I'm going to give you guys some quick and fire keys to help improve your phoning that I would love for us to jot down, because you're going to come to realize that the better that you get at phoning, it is the better that your business and Cutco overall kind of expands. You're going to get more customers. You're going to get more demos lined up. It all ties to phoning a little bit better. So some of us, since we're so new, don't even really know how to build a system within phoning, and so that's where I can hope that the tips that I give you guys today can help overall our entire squad. The first thing that I want you guys to jot down in regards to phoning better is I want you guys to write down the question, where could this take you? What I mean by that is sometimes when we're thinking about phoning, we're just thinking about making the phone call and that's it. We're thinking Shayla said make phone calls, so I'm making phone calls. We're thinking Fletcher said make phone calls, so we're making phone calls. But we're not really thinking about what comes out of making phone calls consistently throughout the week. By overcoming fears pertaining to the phones, this could be the one thing that can take simply selling under $3,000 to selling constantly well over $1,000 on a week-to-week basis. This can be the one thing that allows you to make $2,000 to $5,000 worth of income. Olivia? Imagine that, making $2,000 to $5,000 worth of income just because Olivia decides today I'm going to make phoning my number one thing. That's what's awesome about phoning. What if phoning, because Wanda gets better at phoning, she becomes so good at it that she becomes one of the next rising star leaders, one of the next interns, one of the next assistant managers because of the fact that she gets better at phoning. Joanna, what about preparing for any type of career out there and just getting better at rapport and communicating because of phoning? Think about graduating debt-free. Think about buying a new car. Think about moving to a different city or different state because you saved up so much money because you did Cutco. That's what I'm talking about. And here's the thing. I'm living proof, guys, that if you get really good at your phoning, that's what could happen to you guys. It was because I decided when I was brand new in the business 9.5 years ago, when my manager was teaching me these things that I'm teaching you guys right now. She was like, get better at this, you're going to hit your next promotion. Get better at this, you're going to hit dirty 30. Get better at this, you're going to be an assistant manager, a sales manager, a branch manager, a district manager. That's what she said. So it's a lot bigger than just making phone calls. Always remember that. It's so much deeper than just making a simple phone call. It's where could this take you? Where can this one phone call take your business? Don't focus on just the one crummy person. I know Brooklyn just experienced at this phone jam.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, sweetheart. Don't worry about it, sweetheart.
But just focus on what could happen. So the next thing that I want you guys to jot down is phoning requires time management. Phoning requires time management. And I think this is the one thing that if you talk to any rising star, any key staff member, any person that's a manager, a branch manager, a Cutco sales professional, they'll tell you that in their schedule, they have a lot of time to make phone calls. If you talk to Chavez, in his schedule, like if he doesn't have demos on a Monday and he knows that Monday's a big demo day for him, he's making 100 to 200 phone calls in the day. Notice the difference, right? When AK doesn't have any demos in his schedule, he goes, cool, I'm watching Netflix today. Right? Cool, looks like I'm hanging out with friends today. But what if that's the one thing that you add to your schedule moving forward from this week, that you just add daily phone time? Like if you have demos lined up, but you don't have any demos that are set in stone for tomorrow, let's say, or Saturday, let that be an all-day call day. That's what we call it. Making phone calls all day. And it doesn't have to be like making 1,000 phone calls, but if you talk to one of your leaders, right? They'll tell you that if they're supposed to do a morning phone jam and they don't have any demos lined up for the rest of the day, instead of having no demos lined up, they'll make 20 to 30 phone calls in different time slots that they would have done demos. Time management is huge when it comes to your phone calls. Another thing to add to the time management part is adding time into your schedule to expand your names list. Expanding your names list. How much time do we have allocated into adding more names and numbers from social media? I'll tell you right now that when I was developing, this district office, it took a lot of social media messages. It took a lot of Snapchat messages to different high school students and college students. I have over 5,000 Snapchat friends, guys. And it's not because I just randomly wanted to become friends with Snapchat, people in West Denver. It was because I spend hours, weeks, months sending out messages and messages and messages. So it takes a lot of time sometimes, but you got to realize what can come from it, right? That was the first key. So adding time of that into your schedule. The next key in improving our phoning as a squad is understanding what are your standards. That's the next key. What are your standards? So if you talk to our leaders on staff, they'll tell you that they know these standards like the back of their hand because they teach this to you guys. So moving forward, these are the standards that I want you guys to jot down. The 4-to-1 rule ratio, meaning for friends and family, it's usually going to take 4 phone calls to book up 1 demo. Now, when you move out of friends and family, these are the new ratios, okay? These are the new ratios. If they have a yes text, if you get an entire recommendation list that the customer sent out text to each one of these recommendations, that's a yes text, right? If they all have a yes text, that means that the new ratios for that list is 5-to-1, meaning it's going to take 5 phone calls to book up 1 appointment. If they don't receive a yes text, you can jot down it's going to take 10 phone calls to book up 1 appointment, meaning it's going to take 100 phone calls to book up 10 appointments. So it's a lot harder. As long as you send out that yes text, it does make a big difference. Another standard that you want to jot down is 30 to 40 phone calls per hour. And I'm going to encourage us to build the endurance to do, like if your threshold right now is making 30 phone calls and you're exhausted, now I want us to build it. Let's say that you get to 30, now your next phone jam, make it a point to get to 40. Next phone jam, make it a point to get to 50, to 75, to 100. I want us to be bragging about making 100 phone calls in a day. That's 33 in the morning, 33 at lunch, and 34 in the evening. But can that be a bragging right moving forward that you make that many phone calls? That's what it's going to take. So just understanding the numbers. Another thing when it comes to increasing your standards is understanding that you're going to have to change numbers to get a hold of different people. You're gonna call the same group of people, same recommendations that you've been referred to over and over and over again, and eventually they're not going to pick up. Eventually, you're going to call like Nicole. You've seen Nicole call 30, 40, 50 people in a phone jam, and she gets a hold of 0 sometimes. So the next step, if that's you, if your list isn't picking up, is you either call at a different time of the day that you don't normally do, or changing up the phone number, right? Having mom, dad, boyfriend or girlfriend, sibling, whatever the case is, switch phones with them. That makes a big difference. Next is overcoming the fear of the phones. That's a big one, right? You got to understand that for whatever reason, we have this like invisible fear of what would happen if we reached out to someone that we haven't talked to in a while. And we come up with these like weird lies within ourselves. Like, oh, well, if I talk to my teacher, she's going to fail me. Like, what? Like, why would she fail you? Or, oh my gosh, if I talk to that person, they're never going to talk to me again. Mind you, they haven't talked to you in like 10 years, so who cares, right? So just understand these weird like fears that are just emotionally tied to us that we just kind of justify, oh, we're not going to talk to that person because it's a fear. Overcome it. right? Full send. When it comes to a lot of the people that we're fearing, because you got to remember what's going to happen is you're going to book up demos, you're going to get recs, you're going to get recognized during team meetings, you're going to level up. Everything comes from obviously overcoming the fear. Write down 5 seconds of courage. 5 seconds of courage. I've taught this to our staff when they're like, when they get into their nervous tics, right? And I'm like, make phone calls, and Shayla's like, right? Everyone does. But you gotta think when you get like Shayla's like, make calls, Wanda. Like, we all do it. When you get into those fears, 5 seconds. Give yourself 5 seconds to just say, all right, I'm doing this. All right.
Because the way that our minds are wired and the fact about human beings is that we are not designed to do things that are uncomfortable or scary or difficult. Our brains are designed to protect us from those things because our brains are trying to keep us alive. I literally went 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I counted out loud.
I'm nervous, but here we go. Dial. Boom. And do that every single time. Oh, I'm so nervous. Dial. And do that every single phone call until it becomes second nature. And then the last but not least key in improving your phoning is stay on course. Stay on course. What I mean by that is follow the script. Don't go off course. Don't do your own thing. Follow the script. But understand what the objections actually mean. And I'm going to go ahead and actually share my screen here. What do these phoning lines mean? I'm going to give you guys a quick recap on it because sometimes we forget. All right, so phone approach. And it says, hi customer, this is Bri. How are ya? Good. Catch up for a while. How you been, auntie? How you been, friend's mom? How's life? How's work?
That's stressful.
So you want to make sure that you're catching up for a little bit, right? Because if you just dive in, the person that you're talking to just feels like you're just a business transaction. That's all it is. Oh, Wanda, who hasn't talked to me in a couple years, just decided to call me up randomly because she wants to do a demo. Bless you. But if you're calling for like friendly, you're excited, you're smiling, it makes a difference. Well, the reason I'm calling is I just started a great new job showing Cutco, and as part of my training, I'm required to put on some initial training appointments. Lets them know you're brand new, so you don't have to buy anything because I get paid just to show it, and I do the presentations right over the phone. You just need to be in front of a laptop or computer at home. I want to do 15 appointments by Monday night to hit my goal, so I wanted to know if I could schedule a call with you tomorrow at 7, or would 5 be better for you? And then if they say yes, you're going to say, great, thanks a lot, this really helps me out. Do you have a pen nearby? Cool. Can you please jot down into your schedule to talk to you on Zoom tomorrow at 5 p.m.? Great. And then most importantly, Shayla, can you please make sure that your husband is available for this too? Really makes a big difference getting feedback from both of you.
He's definitely going to be there.
Perfect. Well, hey, thank you so much for helping me out with this. I'm looking forward to catching up. I know this doesn't mean a lot to you, but it means a ton to me. So thank you. I'm going to send you a confirmation email. Can I grab your email address?
It's shayla123@gmail.com.
Beautiful. Great. I'll email you tonight, and then I will text you a reminder, and then I'll call you at exactly 5. So please don't forget about me. Have a great rest of your night.
You as well.
Thanks. Bye-bye. Perfect. So that is the phone script. That is why we do it. Notice the excitement. There's this old school saying that I used to say back in the day, which is smile when you dial. Smile when you dial, because tonality is a big difference there. Versus if you're nervous and you're just super stressed out on the phone, they can hear that. So if you're excited, if you're cheerful, that plays a big role. All right, so next thing, obviously in staying on course, is understanding what the questions mean. Deciphering that when they say no, when they give you a question, it doesn't mean they don't want to see you, right? It does not mean that. Sometimes when we hear the word no or a question, automatically we're like, oh, they don't want to see us. And that needs to change. And they say, what is Cutco? Oh, Cutco is a line of high-quality kitchen cutlery and a few outdoor items. I'm sure you already have tons of knives, but I get paid to show it to you, so would time be better for you? By the way, what is Cutco? That is just getting clarity, because sometimes over the phone, we might mumble because we're nervous, and they might hear Petco or Costco.
All the time.
all the time. So they're just getting clarity on, did you say you're showing me pets
I like turtles.
or samples? Like, what are you showing right now? So what is Cutco? They just need clarity on what the heck they're going to be seeing. If they say already own Cutco, some of us think, oh, they already have the full set. Oh, looks like they don't want to see us. Don't assume, because you know what happens when we assume, guys. We're not gonna say that because it's recorded, but you know what it means when you assume. They say already owned Cutco. That's great. How you like it? How long have you had it? Oh, that's fantastic. Well, like I said, I'm doing it for the training, and I'd love to get your opinion and maybe some pointers. Plus, I get paid anyway. So would time be better for you? Then it's that time doesn't work, I'm really busy. Keep in mind, guys, the average married homeowner has a life. Oh my gosh. You mean that they're not just sitting there waiting for your call? Oh my gosh. The nerve. You gotta fight for it. So if Adam goes, hey Bri, I really want to hang out with you. Can we hang out tomorrow? And if I go, sorry Adam, it's not gonna work. Does Adam just go, cool, Bri hates me, I'm never going to talk to her ever again? That's what we think when Mrs. Jones says no, that she's busy. And we give up. We go, all right, sounds good, bye, peace, hasta luego. You got to be thinking deeper here. It's like, cool, Mrs. Jones is married, has a full-time job, has friends, has family, has things to do, has grocery shopping to do, has kids to take care of, has family. Like, the list goes on. So if that one or two specific times that you gave don't work, ask for another. It's okay. And then, of course, last but not least is, how long does it take? Oh, not too long in all my parts, about 45 minutes. After that is up to you. So which time works best for you, time or time? That question is just getting clarity from a busy mom's schedule, how much time she needs to allocate for you. So it's not a negative question. It's just clarity on how much time she needs to carve out. So realize what objections, what smoke screens actually mean, and always remember the second you answer it, go back and make sure when she says yes to write it down, have her write it down, emphasize that part so that way she does not forget about it. In closing, the last thing that I'll say is phoning isn't about just you. Sometimes we get so caught up in us and our fears that we don't realize that phoning and doing the demo has more to do with your customer than it is for you. Remember, one homemaker set for Eileen means $300. Eileen is going to use that $300 on bills for a week. It's going to last Eileen about a week, that $300 commission. But that homemaker is going to last Mrs. Jones and her family a lifetime. Realize that. So you're doing more for your customer than just booking up a demo for yourself. It's to help her out. It's to improve her cooking needs. You truly are helping someone. I can't tell you how many times customers call me back and thank me for them selling them Cutco, and it's the best feeling. Okay, so just remember, it's not about you. It's about the customer and what she gains from doing the demo.